everyone, it's Sharonda from Pay Your Weights, and today I'm going to be reviewing Ozark Season 4, Part 1, which will hit the Netflix streaming platform this Friday. The series stars Jason Bateman, Laura Lenny, as we find Marty and Wendy. They have finally gotten themselves rid of Helen, and they are climbing their way to the top of the Navarro Empire. However, as they have their pursuit to make it out of the game, to leave the Ozarks, they realize that some of their past sins won't stay buried, and some of the most dangerous threats of them all come from blood. So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, hello, so glad you came, I hope you stay. I'll tell you what I liked about this series, what I didn't like about the series, and is it worth your time or not binging Season 4 Part 1 of Ozark as it hits Netflix this Friday. So going into what did I enjoy about this season of Ozark, you guys, I just want to give, can I just give all of the kudos to the writers of Ozark, because as you find yourselves throughout these past 4 seasons of everything that has actually happened to the birds, the jaw-dropping finale of Season 3, somehow they find the way to continue to up the ante just when you think that the birds have actually escaped and just had a moment of peace, okay? Just had a small win. Something else happens and you just like, well, damn, here we go again. And they always find a way to take the audience on a very stressful yet thrilling ride. And especially as we delve deep into Part 1 of Season 4, just when we think that the birds finally have a plan to get themselves out, things might not come as easy as you may think for the birds. And I want to give kudos to my MVP of this season, Laura Lenny, who plays Wendy. Y'all, now I know Wendy trash, okay? After last season, she's definitely trash. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. But the depths that Wendy goes in this season, when you think that Wendy couldn't have gotten even worse, the plans that she comes up with, especially as she is struggling to parent her children. She's having a rocky relationship with Jonah this season, and the depths that she goes to save her child, which is the only way out that she can see in her eyes in order to save her children. I was just like, baby, this ain't the way. Don't do this, girl. Wendy had some scenes this season. I was just like, now I already knew you was raggedy, but I was like, oh my God, I know you are not about to do this, ma'am. Do not do this. Laura Lenny is just so amazing at what she gives to her performance as Wendy. As you've seen over the past couple of seasons, really Wendy's thirst for power, and you continue to see that grow even more in Part 1 of Season 4, especially as she delves more into the politics, as she's trying to get her foundation off the ground, as she's trying to solidify power in order to make sure that her family can have a way out, but also to a future to look forward to. It's been really great to see the journey of Wendy, where we found her in Season 1 to where we're finding her in this final season, but especially within Part 1. Now also too, Jason Bateman, who plays Marty, look, there is such subtlety to Jason's performance, because without him having to say any words, you just see that the weight of the world is on Marty's shoulders. You see the stress that he's in as he's trying to be this businessman, trying to be an informant, trying to be, doing this money laundering for the cartel. You really see how this is taking a toll on him. And I love that in Part 1 of Season 4, that we really get to see where Marty was, where we found him at the beginning of the series, to where you see that he still kind of holds on to the core of where he is, but you can truly see that all of these decisions, all of the dangerous situations that they have found themselves in, how it has truly taken a toll on him. And it's just something that you can see from his mannerisms, even as we're seeing this interesting parenting dynamic that's happening between Wendy and Marty. You're just kind of like, man, Marty is just like, you know what, honey, do what you want to do. I got enough problems to deal with. I ain't got time to be worried about these badass kids. And I can't stand these kids. Let me just be clear with y'all. I've been saying probably since Season 2 that the kids need to die in the first place. And I know what y'all thinking. Sure, you can't say kill the kids. But for Ozark, I'm going to say kill the kids. Now, I believe that the children are our future. I don't want nothing to happen to our youth. But in Ozark, them kids are raggedy and they got to die. And we see Jonah, bless his heart, Jonah, I know you done been through a lot, baby. But the way that Jonah annoyed the ever living, every fiber in my body just looks at Jonah and just be like, I can't stand him. I really cannot stand him. But you also have to sympathize with the kids, because at the end of the day, they've been put into this life that they never asked for. And really, they're having to face the consequences of their parents' decisions. And I like that we do get to see a little bit of rebellion out of Jonah. But at this point in time, after everything that you've seen your family go through, I'm kind of just like, why are we doing this now? We finally got through all of this with Charlotte. Like, why we got to go through this with Jonah as well? But also, too, one of the things that I really do enjoy about Ozark is really the writing. The way that they find the way to kind of weave all of these different characters, all of these different subplots that are happening to still build tension while you're watching the season. And especially talking about subplots, there's a lot of things that are introduced in previous seasons that they still bring up in season 4. And typically with TV series, they'll introduce a subplot, introduce a character, and then they go nowhere with it to the point where you're just like, so what was the point? But for Ozark, I think they do a really great job of showing that everything happens for a reason in this season. Even if there is foreshadowing through dialogue, everything is said and done for a purpose. And one of the subplots that I love that they carry on into season 4, part 1, is really to deal with the loss of Wendy's brother, to see how Wendy is dealing with her grief, but overall how her brother's death, how that has affected the family as a whole, how that might place a threat upon their business, their plans to get out of working for the cartel, but most importantly, how it affects the kids and how it actually affects Ruth, who actually found someone who truly loved her for who she was. And we really get to see her go through this grief as well throughout the course of part 1 of season 4. Now, I will say for Ruth, baby, Julia Garner, let me tell you something. If y'all don't submit episode 7, for Julia Garner for her next Emmy win, because when I say she was acting, there's a scene that happens, the whole scene, I was just like this. I literally was clutching my invisible pearls like, oh my gosh, like baby girl is acting, give it to me. This is the role that they're gonna play when she comes and gets her next Emmy, because she was giving every single thing that she had, from the expressions, just, whoo. Ruth is going through a lot this season. And I just want to give Marty a hug. I just want to invite them to a spa day so they can just have some peace in their life. Because it just feels like just when they find like just a little ounce of happiness, it's just like, oh, hell no, y'all in Ozark. You ain't gonna be happy. But I do like with Maya, who is the FBI agent who has kind of been in this line of communication between the birds as she's trying to do her job and trying to bring down Navarro, his cartel. I like that they actually bring more of the FBI presence into this. They talk a little bit more about how some of our government agencies, they might not have their hands clean in this either. And I love that they delve deeper into that with Maya's character, as she comes off a little bit naive of really thinking that her sense of duty to this country, her duty to her job, as that really comes into question, and as she has to truly see with the veil lifted from her eyes of who she's working for, who are actually the good guys and the bad guys. And I love that we explore the FBI presence and their involvement with the birds and their involvement with the Navarro cartel as well throughout the course of this season. Now, there is a new character that's introduced, played by Alfonso Herrera, who plays Javi. First of all, Javi fine, y'all. I know they ain't got nothing to do with the review, but I just had to go ahead and give props. I was like, Javi, baby. All right? If you want so scary and mean, we can get married, all right? But Alfonso does such a fantastic job as Javi, who is just this hot-headed character that really comes in. And when I say he came in and flipped the whole table in the first episode, he came and flipped the whole damn table. He flipped it. He said, y'all think y'all scared of Omar? Baby, you ain't seen Javi yet. And I really love the addition of his character, but also too, because he is a hothead, that means that he is very unpredictable. And the actions that he takes as he comes into contact with the birds, it has a lot of consequences for everyone on both sides. I really love the addition of Javi in this as well. Now, outside of everything that I really enjoyed about this season, I do have a couple of issues with this season. Now, even though I know y'all probably gonna come for me in the comment section when I said this, but it's okay. I'm gonna choose violence today because that's what I'm doing today. I will say, even though the stakes are very high in this season, sometimes I feel as though that the stakes are not as high for the birds as they should be. And especially within season 4. And I know what y'all thinking, Sharana, like, did y'all not forget about Wendy's brother dying last season? I understand that. But Wendy wasn't messing with her family like that anyway to begin with. So was it really high stakes for them or not? That's left to be debated. But I do hope that as we get into part 2 of Ozark, I want to see a little bit higher stakes for the birds. I want to actually feel like there is no way that any of them can escape without some type of casualties. That's just one of the critiques that I have, and especially when dealing with shows like this, is really supposed to be no one is safe. And I hope that we get that in part 2. But after looking at part 1, that's just my kind that I have. Now also too, while we on the issue of some issues that I had, the fact that they trying to make this whole, what is his name? Is it Wyatt? The whole Wyatt and Darlene thing, baby, it was too much in season 3 and it's too much in part 1 to season 4. Now, it makes a little bit more sense as things kind of fall into place towards throughout the course of this season. I was still just like, I wanted to be able to fly on the wall in the writing room. They were like, hey, hear me out, guys. Let's put these 2 characters together and see how that's going to work for the show. It's still not given what it needs to be given. And it's too much for me. It's still too much. And I thought, like, watching the first couple episodes, I was like, okay, I can get behind this. But then I was just like, no, I still can't get behind it. It's still weird to me. And I really want to know the reason why they decided to do that. Because it just bothers my spirit for some reason. But outside of that, I will have to say that Ozark is probably one of the best examples that I've had of a TV series that in its final season, it is still better than the previous seasons. I don't know how the hell they do it. When I was watching it, I was just like, now why are we ending this? Like, whose decision was it to end it? I was like, this show was still damn good. I was stressed out the entire time, had to get my little inhaler out because I was just like, this is too much is happening. But it keeps you on a very fun and thrilling yet stressful ride while you're watching it from episode 1 all the way into the end of episode 7, which I don't know what the hell they're going to do to top part 1 of season 4, but after watching these first 7 episodes, you have me deeply invested. And I'm going to have to say this probably going to go on down as if not the top show that like went out with a bang with an actual good final season. It's just that good, y'all. So what I would tell you to do with your time this weekend for Ozark season 4 part 1, go ahead, call off of work, do what you need to do because you're going to want to binge this. You're not going to want to stop. Once you start episode 1, you're going to go all the way through to all 7 episodes. But those are my thoughts on Ozark season 4 part 1. All right? Those are my thoughts on it. That's it. We could talk about it later this weekend. If you guys want to do a spoiler discussion, we could do a live spoiler discussion about Ozark. Let me know in the comment section below if that is something that you want to do. But as always, my name is Sharana from Pay or Waste. And if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again, bye.